state is under extreme financial pressure. Our revenue picture for the future does not look particularly good. The public rightly is complaining about the constant increases in taxation, certainly of the property tax, and so we have to look at all of these things, and consolidation is really a means for the discussion.
My opinion is to retain as much choice as possible, possibly adding more choice, and also I know it's scary, but possible tax credits or vouchers for parents who want to take their children out of schools if it's just not meeting their needs.
Yeah. Number one, I applaud your inclusion and understanding that school choice is incredibly important to most folks in Vermont, particularly in small towns. That is just an incredibly highly held value for everybody in small towns.
We've really got a thriving source of educational creativity and innovation in the independent schools here in Vermont. They're flourishing. They are doing things somewhat differently than the public schools by and large, and they're being successful. So if we block or limit access to their success and their way of thinking as a consequence of school district consolidation and centralized thinking, I think that would be a very serious loss.
Let you know that West Windsor is an anomaly in Vermont in that our district is increasing the number of kids that are coming to our school. I believe that it's due to choice.
Compass School is a choice school, and so to me, in order for us to exist, we need to keep that part in there.
So that choice that is available in the 90-some Vermont towns is very important to me. It's very important to my fellow citizens in Heartland.
Quite frankly, I'd like to say you should really think about total free school choice.
I'm Steve Heyer. I'm the business manager for the Springfield School District, and on behalf of VASBO, the Vermont Association of School Business Officials. And that night we presented a 4-page position statement that the organization had developed pertaining to school governance. And essentially that paper supports something similar to what H782 supports.
And in full disclosure, I am a trustee with the Vermont Superintendents Association, and we do feel quite supportive as an association for this bill, H782, and essentially what the VSA's position is on this is that we favor preschool through grade 12 single supervisory districts with a single school board.
Although it's a voluntary program, if you pay some districts to consolidate, and if you in an area limited funding, it'll essentially be a financial penalty to the districts that don't consolidate. So I would urge you to not act on this bill.
And even though there is a provision for small schools to remain open, at least in the short term, I believe that your current proposal would be the demise of small schools. And I think there's a lot of provisions there to maintain school choice, at least in the short term, and it's not clear how that would fall out in the long term, and I think that those are concerns for people.
With the approach that you're taking, which all it does is marginalize rural communities, eventually lead to the closing of rural schools in the name of cost savings, and generates that stampede of young parents and all the vitality we think is so important in Vermont out of the rural heartland of this state, and maybe to the small few urban centers we have, but probably mostly just out.
So here I am, I'm listening to all this about consolidating big districts, and I'm not seeing this as a way that is going to optimize a parent's ability to choose the best educational scenario for their child.
It's difficult sometimes when you have one size fits all, because that doesn't meet the needs of all students. So whatever size works, the sizes need to be there.
I highly value the freedom to choose what I think is the best school for my children.
I feel very, very strongly for parents and the students that, you know, are in their lives to really have the opportunity to choose where they think is going to be the most appropriate place for their child.
You know, I beg you to consider school choice and to be as flexible as possible. I think it is important to understand that different kids need different kinds of schools. I need the flexibility so that I can have kids who are successful. Because if we have kids that are successful in education, they're going to be successful adults.